Right, 7:30. So why don't we get started? Like I said, welcome all for joining. It's a great Sunday evening. Sun is shining. I know everybody could be doing some other things, but we appreciate you being on the line with us and participating tonight. My name is Mark. I'm Mark Kerr. I'm currently a board member for the Caribbean Canadian Chamber of Commerce and Community, otherwise known as C5. We are, I see quite a few faces that look familiar, and there's a few guests. So again, welcome and thanks for joining. This community chat is run once a month. So the first Sunday of every month, what we try to do is we open our doors to guests so that you can learn more about our organization, ask questions if you have any, and we kind of just run through, what we're about. So we are looking for people to join our movement, to join our group. So welcome. I see Denise and I see Alicia. So welcome to you all, and definitely, if you do have any questions, ask in the chat, and we can answer them. And I'm going to ask my co-host, Oliver. Good evening, Oliver. Thanks for joining. To just keep an eye on the chat, and then from there, what we'll do is we'll answer any questions that you have.
Sure.
So what? Sorry.
I said sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. So, like I said, once a month we run through opening our doors to everyone so that you can get an idea of what do we do and what are we about. And once a month what we do is we rotate across our board members to have a board member host the call, just to kind of walk everybody through what we are up to. So this is my month, and I appreciate the time that everybody's putting in, and thank you for having me. We just wanted to mention just a bit of housekeeping that we normally do as we go through these meetings. We want to express, and those of you who are members, you fully understand this, but this is a safe space. So what we do on these calls and in these meetings, everyone is pretty much aware, and we make sure that things that we speak about are normally confidential. I know we're streaming today, but are normally confidential. We keep it amongst our group, and we ask for people to be empathetic and to also just be positive and be aware of things that you're saying, that and make sure that we try not to hurt anyone here. We do have a lot of really good conversation, healthy debates, but everyone is respectful of each other on these calls. So I just wanted to call that out. And then, looking for participation from everyone on the calls. We ask that everyone keep their cameras turned on. And again, this is just to make sure that we know who we're talking to, and you know who you're talking to as well. And just to make sure that everybody's comfortable around each other. And it's a lot nicer to talk to a face, even though we're not face to face. But we do ask that you keep your cameras turned on. There could be the possibility that we may have to disconnect you if your cameras are not on during the meeting. Okay. So like I said, we're here to build some trust and connect with each other, and that's about it. Just moving on to a little bit about the agenda tonight. So what we want to do, we've already gone through, but we have participants that were in the waiting room. We've let you in. We're about to start the meeting. This is we like to start and end on time. So the meeting is from 7:30 to 9:30. So we will end at 9:30, and we'll be aware of the time as we go. So hopefully we don't run out of time, but we'll continue on. But we'll definitely try to get to end the call on time so that people can get back to what they're doing. This meeting link actually gets closed. So if you don't join early enough, We don't usually accept participants coming in much later after the 7:35 mark. So just wanted to call that out. We'll go through participant introductions, very, very quick, simple introduction, just so we can all get to know each other, know who's on the call. And then we'll talk a little bit about the land acknowledgement. So this is a new piece that we've introduced on a weekly basis, recognizing that we are in Canada, we're Caribbeans in Canada. We just want to pay homage to Canada itself. And David will be walking us through that, but we'll get to that shortly. And then every month we have a topic that we discuss. And this month's topic will be around social movements. So I will be speaking to that. And if you're not familiar with what a social movement is, hopefully today you will learn and ask any questions you have, like I said, and we'll go through that. And then we will, there's a brief portion where we will talk about some of the new things that we have. We'll do some updates around our group and just what we are doing as a group and as an organization, and talk a little bit about some of the new things that we have. We have what we call the My Best Life shop, which is which I'll get into a little bit more detail, but it's pretty exciting from our perspective, and we're really excited about that. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll talk about member signups. So for our new participants, if you're interested, you like what you hear, you want to be a part of this movement, this organization, then we'll go into the sign up, and you'll have an opportunity to join us. And then what we normally do after these calls is after 9:30 is what we call our after hours. We do have a lot of members stay on for a bit, and we kind of have some chat. We do some conversation around whatever. It's pretty much an open floor. Sometimes we play some games. We'll talk about, sometimes it's sensitive topics, sometimes it's just jokes, right? But we do open the floor to the after hours. So just calling that out. Any questions so far? Okay, I'll move on. Just wanted to talk a little bit more about our members and our guests. So our participants, what we ask for on these calls and in this group is that you self-identify as Caribbean Canadian. Oh, what just happened there? Apologize. You self-identify as Caribbean Canadian, and you're serious about joining the Caribbean Canadian identities and the social movement of that Caribbean Canadian identity. I'll be talking a lot more about that, so you'll get a better understanding of what that means. You're serious about joining the membership of RCHM, and here's how you apply. And then you agree that you'll collaboratively engage in a purpose-driven dialogue to advance the Caribbean Canadian identity, so our social movement. And then just some important notes that we have here. Our participants are what we say required, but we're asking that you familiarize yourself with the social movement in advance. And if you haven't done that, there's a link to our video just that kind of talks a little bit more about who we are, what we're doing, and why. And again, this month is on that topic, so I'll be talking more to that and open to questions. So I see that looks like Maydeen. I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. Welcome to the meeting. So thank you for joining. If you have any questions, just feel free in the chat, or you can come off mute and talk. It's an open discussion for us, okay? And we'll, some more important notes. So participants are required to engage in discussion. We ask that you're visible. So I think I said that already. Just turn your cameras on, except for break times, of course, just so that we can have that conversation, that face-to-face. The event tonight, because it is an open house, is live streamed, but from time to time we do live stream some of our meetings and some of our conversations, and we publish them on our platforms. If you are interested as a new guest to see and experience what our regular meetups and discussions look like, tonight is not a regular meeting, so it's more of an introduction. So if you are interested, you like what you heard tonight, next weekend, we actually invite you to join our meeting next weekend, next Sunday, which is our regular meeting. So we do a lot of fun stuff during the meetings, but we do have different segments that people put on. I do one called Fun Facts, where I just kind of find some stuff online and kind of help out, life hacks and fun facts and kind of life hacks, things that help simplify people's lives. But we have different people coming on with different messages and different things. So the meeting it flows very nice. It's a fun meeting. So just wanted to share that you're more than welcome to join us next week to kind of see what the actual meeting looks like. Okay. I'll move on. So we are down to participant introductions, and just want to get to know people on the call. For the new people on, I want you to get to know some of our regular members who are on tonight. So we just want to start off really quick. Doesn't have to be long, but just tell us your name, what Caribbean country do you represent. We do this on a weekly basis just so that everybody knows who's on and where people are from. Why did you, as a member, why did you join our movement, right? And as for the new and potential members, our guests, why did you decide to attend this meeting and potentially join our movement? So we just want to go through that. I'm going to just call names as I see them on the screen. I think that'll just help us to get through this fairly quickly. To my top left is Oliver. So I will start with Oliver and just ask you to please start with an intro.
Sure, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Oliver Levy, representing Jamaica, aka Jamdong. And why I chose to join this movement is pretty simple for me, pretty straightforward. Bottom line is I want to leave a legacy for my kids. And I understand identity and I understand the Caribbean. And I love the fact that, even with the Chamber of Commerce, the community piece is there, and I'm a community advocate. So I love that as well. So that's the reason why I joined this movement.
Thank you, Oliver. Move on to David.
Thank you, Mark. Good evening, everyone. Yes, my name is David. I am from Trinidad, grown up by Jamaican, Union Island, St. Vincent people. I am happy to be in the movement because I believe all Caribbean people have a certain emotional education, and I found that in this movement. And I guess that's it, is it? Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you, David. Moving on to Camille.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. My name is Camille Kerr. I'm representing Trinidad and Tobago. I'm the founder and president of these organizations as well as the movement. And the reason why I started it is because I recognized there was a need for it. Long story short, there's a need for our community to come together to stand strong and prideful in our culture, and as well to pass it down to the next generations coming up behind us. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. Denise?
Hi, my name is Denise. I'm just a visitor tonight, but I joined the discussion that Oliver and some of you had earlier, and I found out about tonight, so I'm here to participate and to listen.
Awesome, thank you.
My parents are from Guyana,
Okay.
so I'm Guyanese, but my husband is from St. Vincent, so I'm very much a Vincy too.
Awesome, welcome to you and your husband. Ingrid? Ingrid B.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ingrid. I represent Guyana. I wanted to join the movement for something that's purpose-driven and specifically with the objective of it being about Caribbean identity.
Thank you, Ingrid. Amanda?
Hello, everybody. My name is Amanda, and I'm representing Guyana as well. I joined the movement because I kind of wanted to build my own sense of community outside of the community that I know within my family and friends within the Caribbean. You get a whole new network of people when you are here. So that is one of the reasons that I joined.
Thank you very much, Amanda. Beverly?
Hi, I am Beverly representing St. Lucia, and I joined the movement just to be able to speak with, connect with like-minded other Caribbean Canadian people, which I think is pretty important, at least for me, it's important. So that's basically it.
Thank you. Thank you. Alicia?
Hi, everyone. So it's Alessia, and I am Jamaican. And my main reason for joining today is that I also would like to contribute to build a better community for the Caribbean people in Canada, because I do realize that it is something that is needed.
Awesome. Welcome. Lisa?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa, and I'm representing Barbados. I joined this movement to be around like-minded individuals, to learn more about other Caribbean countries other than Barbados, and to pass along the knowledge and education to my kids.
Thank you, Lisa. Medine?
Hi, I'm Adine, and just want to get a sense of what the group is about, and so I can make an informed decision as to whether I want to become a member.
Awesome. Awesome. Hopefully you do, and we'll talk about that a little later if you're up to it. Candy?
Hi, good evening. My name is Candy. I represent Trinidad and Tobago. I decided to join this movement because growing up, I was always wondering why we didn't have these conversations. I was always questioning why certain things weren't discussed or why certain things were normal but made to not feel normal, and realizing that there's like-minded individuals out there was amazing to connect with, and to have that safe space to be able to discuss things that you otherwise wouldn't within your culture. And basically this meeting, it's an opportunity to build bridges to new members, new cultures, new ideas, and it's informative. I like it. Thanks.
Candy. Cherie?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Cherie. I represent Jamaica, and I joined the movement because I was looking to connect with like-minded individuals from the Caribbean. And after attending one of the events as a guest, I just really love the atmosphere and the connection with everyone.
Thanks, Cherie. Jair?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jair. I'm from the island of St. Lucia. I joined the movement because I love the idea of the Caribbean moving as one and to establish a solid bridge for the younger ones afterwards. And I think this is a really good place to start as we to become messengers within our own communities. So this is why I'm part of the movement.
Thank you, Jair. Noblette? Are you there?
Yes, I am. My
Hey,
internet
welcome.
keeps coming and going.
All
Hi,
right.
everyone. It's a beautiful day. I'm still sitting out in the sunshine. I'm representing the beautiful island of Jamaica, but I love all the islands, and I'm here to give support regardless. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you, Navlet. It's been a while, but thank you and welcome back.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Carol, are you there? All right, we'll skip Carol. If she's there, maybe she'll come off mute in a few seconds. Hey, Sharon, Miss Winter, how are you? It's been a while. You're on mute if you're talking.
Hi there.
Hey,
How are you
welcome.
doing?
I'm good, thank you. We are just going through some quick introductions. So we're talking about, if you could just, well, we know your name is Sharon, but which country do you represent?
Jamaica.
And why are you a part of this group? Why did you join our movement?
Because you guys talk about stuff and I can learn a lot of stuff about the Caribbean, and we can support each other. So that's the reason why.
Awesome, thank you very much. I think I got everybody. Let me know if I've missed anyone. All right, we'll move on and move forward. I think I didn't actually talk about myself, and you guys know my name is Mark. I represent the Jamaica. So just why did I join this movement? Well, I think that you know, this is a great organization and great opportunities for us to build up the community. So we are doing some exciting things, like I mentioned, we'll talk about later on, but there's a lot of different ideas, things that maybe are new to you, that you're going to hear tonight. But you know, it's things that are, we are doing things that are thought-provoking. We are doing things that are trying to help to better our community. And we want our children to also start learning the culture a little more, as well as learning about culture, the other cultures within the Caribbean, not just where we're from. I grew up Jamaican. I grew up, you know, in a Jamaican household, and I know a lot about Jamaica, but I didn't know so much about a lot of the other countries. And this group, every week, we share new, fresh ideas and cultural events and just things about other cultures as well that, you know, we always we continue to learn. So we want to, you know, grow the community together, and that's part of the reason why I'm a part of this group. I will just take a quick pause. Any questions, comments, anything anybody has before we continue on?
I have nothing in the chat, but I just want to make one more announcement that we should all keep our cameras on. It's a safe space. We want to make sure you are who you are based on our spaces. And if you have any technical difficulties or whatever the case is, if you can just text me privately, I understand. But if not, you'll be put back into the waiting room. Just an FYI. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Oliver. So like I said, Oliver and I are co-hosting on this call. I'll be leading, so we'll continue through. Hopefully I keep everybody engaged and alert to the call today, but hopefully I'll keep you awake. But just want to talk a little bit about this week's land acknowledgement. This is a new segment that we've added to our meetings on a weekly basis. We've got David on, who's going to speak to this a little bit, but it's just, you know, us as Caribbeans paying homage or to Canada, and just, you know, being thankful for some of the things that we have here in Canada. And I'll turn the floor over to David for this.
Thanks, Mark. Good evening, everyone. This segment, as Mark says, is new, and I just call it Where We Are and Where We're From. We're here on behalf of the Caribbean, but we're in Canada. We're in the Toronto area, hopefully. I don't know where everyone is, but the land acknowledgement, I'll just read it as it says. The City of Toronto acknowledges that we are on historical territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, Métis people. The city also acknowledges that the Toronto is covered by Treaty Number 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaties, signed with the multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. I found something from the Caribbean that hopefully everyone is interested. It should take 1 minute to read this as well. This is a little bit of updated history about the Caribbean. I'll read it exactly as it says. The Caribbean region was colonized by European nations in the 17th and 18th centuries, using enslaved Africans' labor. They introduced a plantation economy to the region, mainly based on sugar, but also rum, cotton, coffee, and cocoa. Most Caribbean countries were under colonial rule even after the abolition of slavery. However, it must be noted that Haiti, a former French colony, was the first Caribbean nation to gain independence from a European power in 1803, even before the French abolition of slavery. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. We appreciate that. And so now we'll move into our next segment, and I'll ask Amanda if you can help us with this. This is called our Caribbean Canadian Identity.
Thank you, Mark. So the Caribbean Canadian Identity is just outlining some exemplary characteristics that we are expecting from our members. And basically, in order to function as one, we need to have a more unified identity, and that's what our aim is with the Caribbean Canadian Identity. So the Caribbean Canadian Identity includes people who are native to or descending from Caribbean nations, regions, territories, including their variations by ancestry, ethnicity, and who currently reside in Canada and who self-identify as Caribbean Canadian. We represent, serve, and belong in the Caribbean Canadian community. Be deliberate in supporting this sole shared identity in our space. We do not promote racism or colonialism, so unscientific labels such as Black, brown, and white are not tolerated. Further, hate, political, and religious debates are not tolerated. And just building off of that, too, we also have a little did you know slide.
Just before we get to that, Amanda, I just want to make sure that people understand. So in this space, we welcome all colors, all different nations, people who originated from different places in the world, in the Caribbean. We are not a focused group on, specific skin color or skin tones. So we try to refrain, and we'd like to refrain. We actually insist that we refrain from speaking in such terms, and we like to use the term Caribbean Canadian. So we have really good conversations, and there's really good debates around this as well. But that's part of our movement and where we are going. We do not want to be labeled as such. So just kind of wanted to share that. We can have some discussion on it, no problem. And we can explain, part of that video that we were asking, if you go to the YouTube, we kind of had a 2-hour session that went through that, but we definitely can discuss it. But we'll continue on. If you do have questions, please feel free to ask, and we'll start to go through some of that. Before we get to Amanda's next section, we do have a quick poll that we're going to share. And Camille, are you good to share that with us? Thank you. So if everybody could just take a minute and just answer, I think it's 4 questions. just give it another minute or so for everyone to go through and answer the questions. Now you can let me know, I think, if we're good to go.
Almost everyone is done. I'm going to wait another 10 seconds.
Okay. Right, so thank you all for taking that time out. We're gonna continue on. We just have a quick did you know section, and Amanda's gonna go through and share some information with us.
So, did you know, recognizing that race is a social construct, the Commission describes people as racialized person or racialized group instead of the more outdated and inaccurate terms racial minority, visible minority, person of color, or non-white, sorry about that, from the Ontario Human Rights Commission. Mark, if you have anything else to build on that.
Yeah, is everybody familiar with this, and just, you know, the Ontario Human Rights Commission, you know, is kind of determined that, you know, these terms are social constructs? Right, I think our members are fairly familiar. Don't know about the guests, but just wanted to understand if people are familiar with this. And part of the question is, you know, why are we mentioning this, right? Why are we talking about this? Well, like I said earlier, we want to ensure that, you know, we're inclusive to our communities. And, you know, we've gotten a lot of feedback from, you know, different people in the community, and some, you know, we tend to segregate ourselves based on skin color, skin tone, and basic regions of where you're from, even though we are in the community, in the Caribbean, and we're trying to work together and come together as a group rather than looking at those types of things. We invite our you know, Caribbean Canadians of Asian ethnicity, of Indian ethnicity, you know, Spanish, African. We want everyone to come together so that we can have these types of meetings, discussions, and learn from each other. So that's part of the reason why we're going through this. Any questions, comments?
I'll just add to that, Mark.
Sure.
Again, in our efforts to build more inclusion, we have to look at our language and how we speak, the words that we use. And that's why this slide is up, right? It's giving us a better word to use when you want to describe yourself. Like if you're describing a discriminatory action that happened on you, rather than saying outdated terms, you can use the term racialized, right? So me as a racialized person, I might not have gotten the promotion because the other lady, you know what I mean? So looking for ways to advance the way we speak and using the proper terms to, again, move us away from colonial, racist mindset, right? So that's why we have this slide here, is moving forward. If there's a need at any point in the next hour and a half that you feel you need to describe yourself other than Caribbean Canadian, you would use the word racialized. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Again, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to enter in the chat, or you can take yourself off mute and ask any questions. But for now, oh, Maydeen, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. I just want to find out the term BIPOC. It's not a term that this group uses.
BIPOC?
Yeah, Black, Indigenous, people of color.
I'm not familiar with that term, to be honest. But,
you are okay.
Yeah,
that's a new term that a lot of racialized communities are using to kind of cover the whole myriad of people who are racialized.
All All right. I can't speak intelligently to that. I don't know if anybody else in the group can, but that is something
Sorry.
definitely that I will be doing some some research on.
I've heard, sorry, Mark.
Yep.
I've obviously heard of the term BIPOC. And being a new member here, I would say right away, we don't use those terms. I'm not by any means put in that position to answer for the entire movement of the CCC, Caribbean Canadians, but to call ourselves those names that are hyphenated by BIPOC is a direct contradiction of just what we just spent the last 10 minutes on.
Yeah.
Calling ourselves a specific European term, which has been passed down for years, or to say that we are those people only, doesn't really represent the Caribbean, because there's so many kinds of people in the pot down in the Caribbean. Thanks.
I would tend to agree, but again, I think I'd like to take some more time to learn a little bit more about this, but we're trying not to use, you know, colonial type terms, right? And
Exactly.
it sounds like some of that is in the acronym.
Actually, the term BIPOC is also come under significant scrutiny. There's some questions about the use of it and concerns that it's inappropriate, but it's a fairly new terminology that's utilized.
So Nadine, you look like you want to have this discussion. We can definitely just talk about this a little bit more in detail, but you know, let us continue on a little bit, keep you intrigued on some other things that we're doing, and we can definitely circle back to this if we need to, okay?
You're muted, Mike, Mark.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know, Nadine, if you heard me, but I don't know if I was on mute at the time. I said we definitely can have this discussion, continue on with a little bit more of our did you know, some fun facts around the Caribbean. If we need to circle back on this at some point, we can. But I just want to get through a few more things so that we can share with you what we're about, some of the things that we're doing. And if we need to, we definitely can have that discussion, okay?
Absolutely, not a problem.
Okay, and just wanted to share, and I'm not sure if everyone's aware, but there are 43 countries within the Caribbean. They are listed here. I won't read them all out, but if there's any out here that are on this list that you see that you have any questions on, feel free to ask. We definitely, when I looked at the list initially and it was learning for me, some of the countries I looked at and I said, really, is that a part of the Caribbean? But basically, the way that the 43 list has come up is based on culture, geography, political ties, and historical ties, and that's what makes the Caribbean unique, right? I'm not sure if anybody has any questions on that, but I can continue on. If you do, feel free to ask. Now, of these 43 countries, just wanted to list out what makes up the ancestries of the Caribbean. So the first one here I have listed is African. I think most people are familiar with that. Asian, I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier. European and Indigenous. I think that's fairly obvious, and if anybody has any questions, for sure we can discuss. South American, and we have South Asian. So I'm not sure if that's news to anyone, but of those 6 ancestries, are people familiar with the languages? Maybe I'll just ask. You can just kind of spit out or say, what languages do we speak in the Caribbean? Anyone?
English.
English, yes.
French.
French, yes.
Dutch.
Spanish.
Dutch, Spanish. Papiamento. Yes. There's one more that I was looking for. Does anybody know it?
Portuguese too.
Well, Portuguese, yes.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
some part of Guyana, some of the people speak Portuguese.
Right, right. There's one more that I was kind of looking at or that's in my list here. What'd you say, Candy?
Creole.
Creole, yes, that's the one.
Mhm.
So I'll move on. But basically, we have 6 official languages of the Caribbean, and that would be Creole, Dutch, English, French, Papiamento, and Spanish. So just wanted to, Creole, just kind of talking about these a little bit, but those are the 6 official languages of the Caribbean. So today, I'm doing something a little bit different, but we're going to talk about the language of the day. So I picked one of these 6, and that's Papiamento. And I want to share with everybody a little bit more about Papiamento. It's the official language of Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. So I'm not sure if anybody's been to these countries or is familiar with that.
Mhm.
Has anybody been to any of these? Ingrid,
Yeah.
you must. Oh, okay, Sharon. I know Sharon's hand has to go up, and Ingrid's hand will go up. But places that I would definitely love to go to. I've seen some of the pictures. It looks lovely. But just wanted to share something really quick about Papiamento, and I'm going to give you guys a quick language lesson. It's 1 minute. You'll learn. You'll be fluent in Papiamento by the time you finish. I'm just kidding, but at least it's a start.
Hi, Bombini to Aruba. Bombini means welcome. First of all, let me introduce myself. Mi nombre ta Aruba, which means my name is Aruba. Here, we always salute you with a smile and a bon dia. Good morning, a bon tarde, good afternoon, or a bon noche, good evening. And since we live on a happy island, we always call each other douchey, sweetie, sweetheart, sugar, honey bun. You get the point. However, douchey is such a nice word that even the weather gets to be douchey. A tempo de douchey hour. The weather is nice today. So let's enjoy it and vamos a algo de bebe. Let's get something to drink. Y algo de come también. And something to eat too. Well, it's been fun, but it's getting a little late now. 1:14. What time is it? Bye for now, and we'll see you soon on our beautiful island. Like we say in Aruba, te oro. See you soon.
Te oro. All right. Everybody, did you learn something there?
She lost me after Bonbini.
Hi, Bombini.
Sorry, what was that?
She lost me after Bonbini.
Douchey. That's nice. So just wanted to share. I mean, that Papiamento is it's Portuguese based. It's a Creole language, and it's spoken in the Dutch Caribbean. So just that was quick. I just wanted to kind of share that really quickly. But we'll move on. Just another did you know again. So just I think this is probably our last one, but cultural identity. The reason why I kind of shared that and talked about, our ancestries and our languages, cultural identity is an important contributor to people's well-being. So identifying with a particular culture, it gives people the feelings of belonging and security, right? It also provides people with access to social networks, which provide support and shares values and aspirations. So these can help break down barriers and build a sense of trust between people, a phenomenon sometimes referred to as social capital. So I think, I don't know when most of you came from, if you weren't born in Canada, came from other countries, when you came to Canada, you probably felt a lot more comfortable around, your own, right? So if you're Jamaican, for example, and you came to Canada and you saw another Jamaican, of course, you're gonna feel that sense of belonging and security with that person, right? Because you're from the same country, you share the same food, for the most part, more values and such. What we're doing here is, again, building our community so that we extend it. I mean, it's the Caribbean, not just your particular country. We want to extend that out to everyone, that knowing that, in the Caribbean, there are a lot of common cultural things that we can identify between the different countries. So that's what we're doing here. We're trying to bring our different islands and groups of people together. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the state of our community and our purpose. And I don't recall exactly who said it, if it was Alicia or Medine, or maybe Denise, I'm not sure if it was someone else, but talking a little bit more about bringing our community together and kind of talking a little bit more about, the crisis that we're in. And I'm just going to share with you something that came from our president, Camille Kerr. She stated that the Caribbean Canadian community is suffering an identity crisis. And I thought I heard this, so I'm not sure if it was stated, but do you agree? Does the people on this call agree with that? I see a thumbs up. I see a couple of thumbs up here. Our organization, we basically feel that this identity crisis shows up socially, economically, politically, and culturally, right? And this is something that why we have, and you're going to see on the slides, join the social movement. You're going to see that, you're going to see that across a couple of the slides, and we're going to go into a little bit more about that, and why. But we are working to respond to this crisis, and we want to tackle this crisis. So how are we tackling the crisis? Well, we are tackling it by forging a collective perspective, a collective direction, and working unity. Again, it's a statement from our president. Does anyone have any questions on that? I'll move into, the vision that this organization has built is that we want to be a thriving Caribbean Canadian community. We know that, the people who are here, we are accomplished, and we're united, but we want to grow that and become stronger as a community. But that is basically our vision and our mission. Now, how do we get to become a thriving Caribbean Canadian community? It starts with a foundation, a base, right? And we need to be able to build upon that base and then, make our way up to the top, and just kind of talking a little bit more about how do we get there. I'm going to pass the floor over to Oliver so he can speak a little bit more to this in detail.
Sure. Thank you, Mark. Can you guys hear me? Perfect. So, yes. So if you guys notice on the screen there, 12 different columns. And I'm also going to talk about, the whole idea of Maslow's hierarchy of needs and what does that look like. First, I want to just kind of ask, give me a thumbs up if you understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So when I'm talking, I know we're all clear. Okay, perfect. So to continue from the previous slide, what Mark was talking about, we talk about strategies, and now we have to kind of break things down into manageable steps when it comes to our movement to make sure we're heading in the right direction effectively. So these 12 collective perspective, they are our values, which kind of help us, guide us in the right direction, basically, right? So if you go to the next slide, Mark, so people can see the bigger version of Maslow's, people can see the bigger version of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So if you noticed, once the basic food and shelter and all that stuff is taken care of, then what's next, right? We're human beings. It's automatically you're moving up the ladder, right? That's just how our makeup is. And we're starting, so we as an organization, we're starting at the third mark. Psychological needs. If you see the arrow there, yes, psychological needs. That's where we're at. So pretty much all members who've been in the organization, they should already know this. They should already start here. They should already understand this. So on all our programs that we're going to talk a little bit about that we've been doing, since we've gone virtual, is pretty much kind of shape this Maslow's hierarchy of needs progression stage, right? So, and this is the reason why we have to really stay away from what Mark was talking about, the labels and so we can stay inclusion, right? Mark, if you can go to the next slide. Yes. So here, so this is so I'm not going to read out all the 12, but if you can see here, this really keep us grounded, like I was saying before, to help us shift to the right direction. And as you can tell, you have progressing forward and, our Caribbean Canadian identity, which we stated and emphasized so much, growth mindset instead of, other mindset, knowledge, inclusion, friendship, sense of belonging, free will, freedom. And I also want to point out forgiveness, reconciliation, healing, communications is one of them. And if you notice, this all beliefs here. So this is the foundation here. So our mandate now to improve the quality of life for our Caribbean Canadian community. And next step up, and obviously we want to reach that self-actualization stage based on Maslow's hierarchy of need, where we are fully, accomplished and united, and we are thriving, right? And that's the whole idea of this whole movement. We kind of categorize like this, so we have a really good, solid foundation, so to help us move forward. And that's it for me. If you want me to clarify anything else, Mark, let me know.
No, that's good. Thank you, Oliver. And again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to just jump in. Basically, what Oliver was saying, all of these beliefs that we have down at the bottom, we had a workshop with, our community and our members, and kind of went through and asked everyone, what do you think that, our physiological and safety needs? And we kind of came up with this list. And then from there, we put that as our base. We want to build upon that, like Oliver said, and move up to become more of a thriving Canadian community. So that's what we're working toward right now. And we're doing it through a number of different measures. So again, I keep saying this, but it's an open floor. Please feel free if you have any questions or comments. This is what we are building our social movement upon, is to move up that ladder and continue to build our community. So social movement, I've said it many times, not sure how many people are familiar with that term or not, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it, what we are doing, how we're going to get there, how are we going to get to this thriving Caribbean Canadian community. I saw Medine, you only have a few minutes, so I'm going to keep going. Just
One
quickly.
sec, Mark, you had a question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was about. Thank you, Camille. I think Alicia had her hands up. Yeah.
Basically I was going to ask, because even coming together as a community, We always have so much conflict within our own communities, right? So how are we going to address that? Because before we can be totally inclusive of everyone, basically we have to start at home. So how are we going to do that before we start building allies outside?
Right. So I think we could do it. And again, it's open to others to answer the question, but it's not something that we have to do as a standalone, right? I think that we can be working on this simultaneously, and basically it's about listening, learning, and understanding. So people are coming from different perspectives, and I feel that a lot of the times, a lot of these conflicts are that we just don't understand each other, and we don't understand what those needs are that a person that is coming from the left, what they're looking for, right? And if we kind of stop for a little bit, take the time to understand, what is this person really saying? Where are they coming from, and why are they saying that? Then I think it takes it's a lot easier to have that empathy, to be able to start that conversation and start the healing.
I can add to that as well, if you don't mind, Mark.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what our movement is all about. Exactly what you just said, Alicia. And it starts from home. So obviously start with our president of this mindset, and there's a collective came together, and now the collective is getting a little bit bigger, and the collective has to be tight. So this way, when your base is solid and tight, this is the reason why in our spaces we don't use certain language, right? So once we tighten that up, then it starts expanding, the base starts expanding. And us here, you'll see in our conversation later on, especially after hours, if you stay on for that, or if you come on next week, because this is more formal. You'll see in our conversation, we play games, we do different things and educate ourselves, and we have different topics each week. You see how we participate, and that's exactly what we do, because we already know that's a stigma in our community, right? So we just start with that tight base and then just expand from there.
And we're learning as we go as well, because I think, we started these calls where when we started and you introduce yourself, we always say, what country are you representing? But, we learned that, a lot of the times people would be saying, well, I'm from Jamaica. And it's like, you feel like, wow, Jamaica, and everything revolves around Jamaica. And we make like subtle jokes about that. You know what? We've learned that doesn't fly for everyone, right? We may be joking about that and saying Jamaica's the best or whatever, but other people don't appreciate that. And we kind of learned that through this group as well. So now what we've done is we've kind of implemented, not instilled, but we've socialized it across the groups that, hey, you know what? It's not cool to do that anymore. And let's be a little bit more understanding of other cultures and other islands.
Yeah.
And let's not use that type of language anymore. And we've stopped, right? So just little things like that we're learning about others who may look at Jamaicans a certain way, and Jamaicans may look at Trinis or Guyanese or people from Aruba a certain way, whatever, right? But we're learning about each other. And that's the first step, is learning and acknowledging, the differences, and making sure that we're not stepping on people's toes or hurting others, right? So, Alicia, I'm not sure, and I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. Alessia,
Alessia.
Yeah, if that answered your question. But again, we definitely can continue these convos. I love these types of conversations and debates. So we can definitely continue it on. But if that's
And Mark,
good, and yeah, go ahead.
these convos happen even on the social calls, right? Like
Yeah,
even
yeah,
on
yeah,
like
definitely.
next Sunday, it always comes back to something related to the week before, or
Yeah.
because it's a dialogue. It doesn't start and end tonight at 9:30.
Right. Yeah, totally agree. And I want to go into a little bit more. We're going to take a break very shortly. I don't know, I don't know if this is a good time or not, but I'm going to talk about social movements, and that's going to take another maybe 15 or 20 minutes. And I want to go into that a little bit more. but then maybe we should take a quick break now because I think this is your cutoff, Medine, if you have to go.
Yeah, it's a good timing. Because, yeah, take a break.
And we will be posting this online, right, too, Camille?
Yes, Madine, it's already streaming on Facebook and stuff. So if you can't stay, you can watch it there. And then we're also recording it as well on our YouTube channel. So I'll send you that information after.
Yeah.
And please let us know when we'll be back, Mark. Exact time, because we start exactly on time.
Yeah, it's 8:31.
Let's take 3 minutes, and we purposefully make this an odd number. So we're gonna do 3 minutes. It's 8:31. Let's just say let's come back at 8:35, okay? And then we will we'll resume. But thank you guys for joining so far, and we'll continue on. We're gonna quickly go through social movements, and then we'll talk about what our organization is up to, all the different things that we're doing. And then we'll kind of wrap it up shortly after that. But let's take a few minutes, okay? So back at 8:35. Thank you. Camille, you cut my song short.
I'm a stickler for time.
Love it, love it. So it is 8:35. I'm gonna give everybody another 15 or 20 seconds and we'll continue on. Good, pretty good. Everybody seems to be back. We almost got everybody. It's winter. Got your snacks. You're good to go?
Yes, hot chocolate.
All right, good, good. Cherie, you look like you're ready.
Cherie was born ready.
It's great. Everybody's coming back. We'll give everybody another few seconds. So this month's topic is on social movements. And I know that we do have some guests, so this is new. Some of the team members who were on last week would have seen some of this, so I'll try to keep it light and keep you interested. But I'm going to go through what is a social movement. We're going to talk about that a little bit, and then talk about how our organization is using a social movement to get to where we want to be. So, all right, I will get started. And basically, are most people on the call familiar with social movements?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to do a really quick intro. This is just introducing those of us who are not familiar with it to the topic. And then, like I said, just relating it to our organization. So let me run a really short video again, just to introduce the topic, and then we'll jump into some conversation.
Ah, the past. A time without video games, smartphones, anti-lock brakes, and many basic human rights we enjoy today. Things that are ordinary now used to be considered wild and crazy notions. Take voting. Not that long ago, the very thought of women at the ballot box had people in a tizzy. But after decades of fighting, the suffragists prevailed. And since then, our collective attitude towards women's rights has continued to expand. Today, the thought of women not having the right to vote is ludicrous. So, how do we get from there to here? How does social change happen?
I'll stop it right there and just wanted to introduce social change or social movement. And like, this lady said, a lot of these notions of women's rights and different things were ludicrous at one point in time, but, change happened. And how did that happen? How did that come about? We've got to, so I just want to talk a little bit more about,
the past.
Sorry about that, about how that happens, right? So before we even go into that, just what is a social movement? Really high level, it's a method to change cultural values, okay? If we look at it from, the big fish eating the little fish analogy, if we look at it that way, it's working to change a predatory, oppressive system. So big fish, maybe the government or society or a particular culture, looking at them as the oppressive system or a predatory system, basically eating all the little fish like you're seeing here, right? And the little fish are the community, the masses, the people, right? And it could be that a minority group, right? Which is, or the group that actually is looking for a particular change. So what happens? Over time, there's a social movement. The minority wants to influence. So we get the minority influence, a small group of people persuading others about their beliefs and their attitudes or their behaviors. And then what happens? They start to unite in a shared action. They have a collective identity. And then they start to become, as they work together, they become the big fish, right? So they work together, become the fish, the big fish. Now they're the masses, right? And what they start to do is they start to eat the what was the big fish, and make that change happen. So in the end, what's the result, right? We move people in a particular direction. That social change will move people in a particular direction, gets people to think and act differently in a different way, and everyone's moving together in a unified fashion, right? Overview, social movement, that's basically what it is. Any questions so far? Okay. So just giving quick examples of social movements, I think things people have heard of already. Marriage equality, right? Mothers Against Drunk Driving, looking at women's rights, anti-nuclear groups, recycling programs, United States Dreamers Movement, civil rights actions, and India having the independence, British rule. Those kinds of things are all social movements that have happened. There are more, I'm sure everybody can relate to. There's Me Too, there's a bunch of different things that have happened as well. But just to give you an idea, get the mind flowing around, a lot of these social movements that have happened out there, okay? Looking at social movements, there's always, people responsible for those social movements, right? So we look at those social movements and we look at these people, and the last time we had quite an interesting debate about this, and we won't spend too much time on it, but looking at it and saying, are these people that are listed up here, are they actually superheroes or are they community leaders, right? Superheroes meaning that they're people who act alone, they're by themselves, they could do extraordinary things like flying high and climbing buildings and going into burning buildings. People who have a hidden identity, they don't really want to be identified, but they are doing these types of things. They don't want to be noticed, but they build and the community builds a dependence on them. Public needs to have that Superman or that superhero. those types of people, when we look at, you know, the word superhero and as it is in a comic book or in a movie or cartoon, you know, those people don't really transform society. What they do is they fight evil on surface, right? And there's no real permanent solution that they leave. The community is always dependent on them. So when I look at, you know, the 5 community leaders, superheroes that we have above, do we look at them as such, or are they more of a community leader, someone who reaches out to people as opposed to acting alone, making connections, and building relationships rather than having you know, just being by themselves and having to do things on their own? Or, you know, do they need to be in the public? Are they public people versus, you know, wanting to be noticed, and they showcase their plans in the public and trying to build power within the community, just rather than being, you know, hidden behind a mask? These community leaders, they empower people. So go out there and empower that community to make that change and foster the change and act as if, you know, if they act as a community, change can happen. And that's basically, you know, the difference. We're looking at this and saying these leaders that we look at, and if you look at people like Gandhi and Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and, you know, and others, you know, a lot of people think that they can't really relate to them. But I look at it and I'm kind of saying they were just ordinary people, just like you and I, right? But they took it upon themselves to get out there, get in front of the community, and to work to make changes happen, right? They saw something that perhaps they didn't like, or something that they thought needed to change in their community, and they went out there and worked on it. So just wanted to share that, you know, all of us have this in us. Whether you are the actual lead and leader, or, you know, it could be a group of leaders, or you could be supporting the leader and supporting that change. But it's a community that comes together to kind of build a social movement and make the change happen. Any questions, comments so far? I'm going to move into the next slide, which is just really highlighting 6 basic steps that make social change happen, right? Social movements happen. You know, the first one is drawing attention, and drawing attention. So minorities, minority groups, they bring about a social change by drawing the majority's attention to the issue. There's an issue out there, they put that out in the public, and they're starting to draw attention to it. And Alicia, thank you for your comment. You said trust has to be established first, and I agree with you there. And that's basically what a lot of these leaders do. They bring about an idea, some sort of a type of a revolution or a change, and, you know, people trust them and say, hey, what you're saying actually makes sense, and we do have that trust, so let's work together on that. I definitely agree with that. So as that leader, that trusted leader, brings attention to the change, then something called cognitive conflict happens, right? And the minority creates a conflict between what the majority currently believe and the position of the minority. So this makes the majority think more deeply about the issue being challenged. So again, the majority is out there and they start to, hey, I just heard, you know, this particular statement, and they start to think about it and say, is there something there, or you know, and they start thinking more deeply about it. And then what happens is something called consistency. That's where all the people in the minority group, they hold to the same beliefs over time, right? So this draws attention to their beliefs, and it creates uncertainty in the mind of the majority. So now the majority is starting to think about this and say, you know, what I heard, I keep hearing this, and maybe there's something to it, right? Which leads down to the augmentation principle, which is a lot of the times with social change, personal sacrifice has to occur, right? People take risks for the larger cause. And, you know, there's a degree of risk, but when we look at a lot of these social change, somebody went out on a limb to make that change happen, and groups of people started to come behind and support that, right? So there's risk and personal sacrifice there. But then guess what happens? It's almost like you're moving up a hill, you get to a plateau, and then what happens? You get to the top of the hill and you start to come down. And as that starts to happen and you start coming down, it's called the snowball effect, right? So what happens with the snowball effect? I don't know if anybody has ever rolled a snowball, and if you're at the top of a hill and you're rolling a snowball and seeing it come down, it would be it's something you know, that happens fairly quickly. But rolling a snowball in the snow, and nobody wants to hear about snow right now because it's summertime and we only have a couple of months. But let me quickly talk about this. It's a small effect at first, but then it spreads, right? Until it reaches a tipping point, at which stage it leads to a wide-scale social change. So people start pushing that snowball, it's getting bigger, 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 and now all of a sudden that small idea has become something much larger, right? And then change starts to happen because, you know, it's out there and people are believing it and starting to move with that social movement. So what happens after that? Something called social crypto amnesia. And I don't know if you've heard that word before, and I think I said this before. I don't even know if it's a real word, but crypto amnesia, we're calling it social crypto amnesia, which is people have a memory that the changes occurred, but don't remember how it actually happened. So once the change goes in and time starts to pass, it becomes a norm and it's a social norm. And if you look at things like women's rights, right? Like who thought that was a social movement, right? Now that you sit down and you think about it, yeah, it's there, it happened, but who started that? What was the social change there, right? Looking at drunk driving, recycling programs, we could name a bunch of different initiatives out there, but you know, it is now, nobody remembers why or how it started, but the changes are there. So just wanted to share that. Those are the 6 steps to a social movement and how we, you know, get from there to here, right? And how that actually happens. So how does that relate to our organization, right? And, you know, we've been talking about this over the last, you know, the last hour and a half, you know, join the social movement. How are you a part of the social movement? Why do you want to be a part of the movement? Well, basically, we are trying to reclaim, or our goal is to reclaim and reinvent the Caribbean Canadian identity. And with that, we are fostering a collective sense of positive self-esteem, community, and belonging. And again, it's a quote from our fearless leader, Camille Kerr. But really and truly, our social movement is about reclaiming and rebuilding our cultural identity and changing divisive and colonial language. So we don't want to use color to identify groups of people anymore, right? But what do we want to do? How do we get there? How do we get to making our social movement to give that crypto amnesia where people forget and that it even occurred? Like, how do we get there? We've got to stop using these divisive terms, right? Like, you know, it's a swear word on these calls that we use black and white and kind of talk in those types of terms. We want to stop using divisive terms. Let's use inclusive terms. And we want to teach our kids about the Caribbean Canadian culture. We want them to know where they came from, know about their heritage, know how they got here, right? And get a better understanding of that. And that doesn't happen enough today. So that's part of what we are doing and what we want to do. And then we want people to join our Sunday meetups. I think most on the call can attest, the meetup calls are fun. I mean, if you can, you join every Sunday. If you can't, join when you can. But we're looking for people to join these calls and start listening, learning, and sharing what you know with others on the call as well, so that we all can collectively learn together and become that, part of that social change, right? And bring our islands and our people together. And then lastly, we want you to become a member. So that's what we're working on here. I hope that I have given you enough ammunition and enough information to spark that interest, at least to come to next week's meeting, to sit through and understand what a regular meeting is like. And then, join the group, join the movement, join our cause, right? That's what we're looking for. I'll continue on. We're not going to have another break. We already had a break, so apologize for that. But what I do want to talk about here is, we've talked, I've done a lot of talking, so I'm going to let some of the group members talk, our board members talk as well, just about the things that we are doing as a part of this organization. Who are we, right? We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to start with our Caribbean Heritage Month. Not sure if everybody's heard of this before, but we do have a Caribbean Heritage Month, and I'm going to ask Oliver if he's there. Yep, he's there, to talk a little bit to this for us, and then we'll continue on with some other activities and movements that we have in place.
Sure, thank you. So two things. First, just to elaborate on what Mark was saying in terms of the new members. I just want to make sure we're all clear that new members, your invitation is for today and just the following Sunday, which is next week. And that's it, right? I'm going to go into a little bit more details later on. But quickly, I know not for our regular members, for the new members, give me a thumbs up if you ever heard of Caribbean Heritage Month. Have you heard? So Lisa haven't heard, Denise haven't heard.
You're speaking to the guests, right?
Yes, guest.
Yes,
yeah. Correct. Guest. Okay, cool. So we started Caribbean Heritage Month. Actually, it was 3 years ago, and we've been, it's the third year, this is our fourth year coming up. And it's been recognized in the Member of Parliament. And this is part of our movement. And I know, just to touch on what Alicia was saying, Alessia, sorry. To move to the next level in the Member of Parliament, obviously we have to really get signatures, and that's a whole different movement on its own. But October is an opportunity to remember and celebrate and educate, like Mark was saying, our future generation about Caribbean Canadians and the importance and inspirational role that they have played and continue to play in the communities across Canada. And I saw a few comments in the chat, or hopefully we can touch on that later on. But that's basically what our Caribbean Heritage Month is all about. And it's in October. So get ready. You're gonna see us on all platforms promoting this in October, and we'd love for everyone to participate. And I'm just going to answer this question based on a lot of questions we usually get. Why October? Right? October is for many different reasons, but one of the most important reasons is 1967, if I believe, Trudeau opened the floodgates in October for the Caribbean people. I call it floodgates because that's what just opened up to Caribbean. And also because it's part of the school year, this is something that we want to implement in the school system as well, right? So that is pretty much part of why October. I just want to answer that just in case anyone have any question around that. And that's it from me, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you. When October rolls around, we do a lot of fun things. There's a lot of organizational events occurring. We partner with other organizations, just a lot of knowledge sharing and fun facts about the Caribbean. We share that out there. So look forward to that coming, and I hope you all as well, you participate in that. So we'll move on. That is our Caribbean Heritage Month. We're going to move again. I'm going to ask Oliver one more time to help me here to explain a little bit more about the workshop that we have coming up, which is called the Caribbean Canadian Parenting 2.0 7-week online program.
Let me grab my book. Yeah, this is going to be exciting as well. Caribbean Parenting 2.0, and we're starting off in July 8th to August 19th. It's a self-guided. Here's the book I'm holding up. If you can see it, there you go. The 7 Spiritual Laws for Parents, very powerful. I've read it once and I'm halfway through it. It's very, very thin. It'll take you, if you're, average reader, it'll take you probably about an hour in one setting, right? I've been reading it half an hour per day. I read it once and I'm going to read it again. But it's a self-guided and chapter assignments by Deepak Chopra. If we don't know, if you might want to, I probably just put the name in the chat. You might want to Google him. And it's going to be pretty much a book discussion, but it's going to be more in depth, geared towards parenting and how effective it is for us to adjust the way we parent so we can guide our children to, their desire, right? And right after that, there's going to be a yoga stretch and breath work in that same segment. So that's what's coming up. And that's it for me, Mark.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to one quick thing to this. So our organization has a book club, and what we do in the book club is the group, members of the group decide on what books they want to read, and have meetings and sessions around the book and discussions around that as well. So we read the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra a couple of weeks ago. We just finished a couple of weeks ago, where we kind of talked through this, and then found out there was a version for parents and parenting for kids. So Oliver, who didn't mention it, he has an organization called Mindful Parenting, which partners with our organization as well. That is, he's volunteered and taken on the lead here to run everyone through the through this book so that we can read it. And basically what it is we normally read a chapter a week, and there's 7 chapters. It's 7 spiritual laws. So we'll do a chapter a week and then have discussion in our after hours during these calls. I think we're going to change that for this particular discussion to make it on Thursday nights to align with our yoga program. But yeah, just wanted to share that it's coming together with Mindful Parenting and our organization to talk about this program. Thank you very much, Oliver. We are going to talk a little bit about our social meetups, which is what we're doing tonight. Tonight is the open house, so it's more formal, but Amanda, can you speak to the social meetups, please?
I can. So social meetups is a virtual social gathering that all members are invited to attend every week. We hold them every single week, Sunday evenings. Right now, we are currently holding them from 7:30 until 9:30 until the month of September. Basically, social meetups, we aim to engage the community to foster new relationships. So like we're doing tonight, meeting new people, having and encouraging new relationships within the Caribbean Canadian community. And also for a heightened sense of unity between all of us. each week, members engage and discuss various topics. There are games that we engage in, Jeopardy, Family Feud, and also educational materials, especially around Caribbean Heritage Month in October. And we all of that while getting to know each other a whole lot better every single week. Every week, you know each other a little bit better than the week before. So social meetups is designed to kind of foster new relationships within our community.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. I mean, some of these meetings get really deep. Some get emotional, and again, we say that everything, you know, we keep it within the group, and we're very respectful and mindful of people and their thoughts and feelings. So depending on what it is, some days we're laughing, you know, and sometimes we have, you know, other moments where you know, it's a lot more caring. So just share that, but thank you, Amanda. Thank you for sharing that. We'll move on to the next program, which is yoga and deep breathing. Danielle, can you speak to that?
Yes, so our yoga and deep breathing program, we meet weekly, virtually 3 nights a week, well, 2 nights a week, and then Sunday mornings. We're a space for us to get together and do something healthy and productive for our bodies and our minds. And a way for us to stay connected as a Caribbean Canadian community, doing something that's healthy and active. As well, we share Caribbean Canadian facts, fun facts about the Caribbean, and about yoga and breath work. So we learn a lot while we stretch and relieve some tension, and you know, we chat and we get to know each other better. So it's a great way. It's open for all members to join. And again, as Mark had mentioned, with Oliver's Caribbean Canadian Parenting 2.0, starting in July, it will be open to members who are part of the Caribbean Canadian Parenting 2.0 program to join us on Thursday nights as well. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, we go from 9 to 9:30 for our bedtime stretch to wind down. And then Sunday mornings, we do our Sun Up Sundays, which is a little more quick-paced flow for us to revive some energy and feel more energy for the week, create more positive vibes as we go through the week. So hopefully we'll see more of us out to join. It's, as I said, open to all members.
Yeah, thank you, Danielle. Again, this program started at the beginning of the pandemic. So it's been over a year now that we've had this program running, but very good. I think it's healthy for your mind, your body, your spirit. So welcome, you know, members to join that in the coming days and weeks. Let's move on to the Caribbean Canadian Kids Club, and I'll ask Lisa to speak to that.
Sure, thanks, Mark. So the Caribbean Canadian Kids Club, which is also known as CCKC, is a safe space for kids ages 4 to 14 to get together, have fun, make friends, learn new skills such as character building and life skills, and to learn about their Caribbean culture and heritage. This year, we started a virtual tour of the Caribbean islands. So far, we visited 4 islands: Haiti, Grenada, St. Lucia, and Barbados. While visiting the islands, the kids learned the history of the islands. They learned fun facts about each island, and we also made a dish from each island. Each week, there's something different planned for the kids. This ranges from storytelling, playing games, learning Caribbean dances, paint nights, scavenger hunts, and cooking sessions. The Caribbean Canadian Kids Club meets virtually every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. The program is on a break for the summer months, but we will be returning in September. And we're always looking for volunteers or people to facilitate. And that's it from me. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Lisa. I miss all the food cooking that we do, so I can't wait for that to restart. All right, let's move on. Next program we have is the feeder program. And Beverly, can you speak to that for us, please?
Yes, I can. So the feeder program is for post-secondary Caribbean clubs And it helps to encourage the student leaders in planning and developing activities, I guess, for their own organizations. It also connects the student leaders to the Caribbean Canadian community, as well as to other leaders at other post-secondary institutions, improves community dynamic and relationships, and preserves the Caribbean culture and strengthens the Caribbean Canadian identity. Now, there's also another part to this where we also give out a Young Professional Award, and it's for people who are 30 years and younger. There's a nomination process, and what will happen, the board members of C5, we would get together and choose who that winner would be. Sorry.
Thank you, Beverly. Thank you. Then we will move into the C5 Exchange Leadership Program. I'm going to just call on Oliver, if you could speak to that a little bit.
Me? Sure. So C5 Exchange is a weekly, again, participant-led social meetup discussion between the C5 members, and C5 stands for Caribbean Canadian Chamber of Commerce and Community, the board members, and the College and University Caribbean Club executives. The purpose for this is to connect, enable, and engage Caribbean Canadians in their leadership role in these colleges and universities. Hence, the word exchange. We learn a lot from them, and hopefully they learn from us, and they learn a lot as actually. So that's the C5 Exchange program.
Yeah, we ran our first exchange program earlier this year, and it was, what was that? I can't even keep track anymore if it's last year, this year, but it was this year. It was very interesting. Learned a lot from the students, and hopefully, like Oliver said, they learned from us as well. But good conversation, right? And kind of helping us to move in the right direction, to keep getting the younger people involved in the organization as well. Beverly already spoke to the Young Professional Award, so thank you for that. I'll just move on, and we'll move to something that's fairly exciting, I think, although I'm married. It's called Caribbean Canadian.
I was just going to ask, why are you so excited?
No, this is exciting. It's a new program, of course, right? We've got a new program coming in, which is called Caribbean Canadian Love Space, which is a virtual speed dating session or night that we're having. And I'm going to ask Camille to speak to that, my lovely wife, Camille.
Right, thank you. So the Caribbean Canadian Love Space is a new event that we're putting on for the first time, trying to connect single people who are looking for a long-term relationship and or marriage. And this is totally in line with our overall vision, which is a thriving Caribbean Canadian community. Having strong, healthy, positive relationships is a part of building a thriving community. So for those who are seeking love, seeking a relationship, we're going to help them on July 12th. Put the right people, like-minded people in the same virtual space and see if magic happens. And if not, that's fine too, because this is one of many that we'll be having. So it's the start. For information on this event, it's on our website, ourchm.ca. And all of our, it's the option on the menu is called events. And that's where you can find more information about all of these events and where you can register as well.
Yeah, thank you, Camille. Thank you. Yeah, this one will be fairly exciting. We have a lot of positive feedback, so we have a lot of people interested in it. We are looking for some more men as well to join. So if you're a man, single, you're out there, you're looking for love, give it a chance, right? Register and join us. We'll move on to the member spotlight. So I'll ask Oliver if he can speak briefly to this one. I think you're on mute, Oliver.
Thank you. So our C5 spotlight. This is where C5, Caribbean Canadian Chambers Commerce and Community, members are given 5 to 10 minutes to present their product or service or idea or just about any topic they are passionate about. And to our live audience here on any given Sunday. And presentation that promotes the members' product and service are eligible to publish on our platforms at no cost, obviously. So that is our C5 spotlight. And I think Mark is going to take advantage of that just now.
Yeah, thank you. This spotlight, like Oliver said, I know I'm adding color to everything that everybody's saying, but gives our businesses and members of our organizations that opportunity to market their business, right? And come out, share it with everybody what they're doing, and we're also adding new perks. So one of the perks that we've added, again, I'm excited about, is that we've recently launched our e-commerce platform for this organization, as well as partnering with a partner business. So we do have a website now, an e-commerce platform that is called My Best Life. And so it's mbshop.ca. And basically, this is the site where we have products and services from members of the community, local businesses, as well as our organizations, where we are selling, retail products and clothing and services for these businesses. So if you look at it, there's a shirt that says "I am Caribbean." That's a part of our Caribbean organization, designed by us, and it's on the site to be sold. Caribbean Canadian 2.0, that's another clothing line that we have that we've put out there. For some of you that are new, we like to start and end on time. I'm watching the time. I got 15 minutes left. Just wanted to make sure that that's the 2.0. We want to always be known as we start and we end on time. That's one of the things. And we're changing, that's part of our movement, right? We're changing the community. We're changing our thought process and our patterns. But back to the site, right? So we have a Shopify site. We are selling products and services. What makes it a little bit different, and I'll show you the site in 1 second, is the fact that we're extending this website out to our C5 members as well as non-members. But the perk for the members are that we give them a better price discount on it. But it is basically a monthly service fee that we're charging for what we're calling a turnkey business, which is if you have a business out there, you have products out there that you're selling, we will promote them for you and you will profit. So we will take those products, we put them online, we host the website, we take care of everything. You don't have to worry about how do I get my products online and how do I sell things? We have that platform. We're going to group your products with other retailers in our community. So we will have, think of it as an e-mall, one site, many products that's going to be marketed across, that's currently being marketed across many different platforms. And we're selling those products and services on our site. So enough talking from me. Why don't I show it to you? Give me 1 second. And if anyone has any questions or comments, please feel free to ask while I get this up and running. So here's our new site. Okay, and basically what we have here, similar to what I said, you know, this is our site that, you know, where we're going out and we're selling products and services to our customers. So I think somebody can drop, if Camille or Oliver or any member can put the link on the.
Yes, I put it already, Mark, in the chat.
Okay, yeah, thank you very
Yeah.
much. But it just kind of shows and outlines some of the products and things that we have. Mindful Parenting is one of our C5 members, member companies that's owned by Oliver. He's got his products and services online here with us. We are selling, you know, those products, and that helps, you know, him to progress. Our organization also has products and services, like I said. We've got T-shirts. I'll just kind of quickly go into some of these. This one is the Namaste collection, showing T-shirts for our yoga group and kind of some of the things that we're doing. I think they're pretty stylish. I'd wear it. I actually have some of the products, so just wanted to share that. But if we look, you know, there's multiple things out there that we are selling. We have a lot of face masks that right now is very popular, but we've listed out some face masks that represent where you come from, right? If you're from Guyana, we've got a mask for you. Barbados, we've got a mask for you. All the Jamaicans, all the Yadi them, we've got masks for you, right? Did I say Barbados? I'm sorry, St. Lucia, Barbados is here. You know, we've got masks, we've got different products. There's another line called Inhale, Exhale. If you subscribe to this website, you'll get notifications around new products that come out. But we've got some really cool products that are coming out on that collection called Inhale, Exhale. A lot of you know, nice clothing for women that look really good as well. But just wanted to share. I mean, we've got a lot of things out there that are on the site. Check it out and take a look and see. And like I said, if you are a business that is out there that has services that you're selling or products, what we want to do is we want to add you to our retailers list. So right now it's very small, but it will be growing as we market this a little bit more. But our organizations are here. We want to add your company here as well so that we can continue to grow our e-mall and support the community, right? We want to support each other. So that is the website. Not sure, team, if I've missed anything that you want to maybe add, or if anybody on this this meeting have any questions around that right now. Okay. One second. So just getting back to the last piece on this is just basically, if you're a retailer, you're a business owner, you want to be a part, or you want to understand why you should sign up with us. Again, like I said, you know, we sell your product, you profit, right? We're not taking huge chunks of money for you. This is service us, fee us, maintain products and maintain the site. It's an opportunity for businesses to increase their sales through a different sales channel. So it's not, you know, the typical that they're currently doing today. There's no maintenance. So from the perspective of you've got products, you've got, you know, your product and cost, you send those to us and we'll put those online for you and sell it for you. As well, we're extending our social media presence and give you that exposure and advertising. So all of that comes as a part of the package. And again, it's a reasonable monthly fee. Once you take a look at it, it's very small there. I won't go through too much of the details, but we put the link out there if you're interested, that contact us and we can talk about it. But it's a reasonable fee and it's just a monthly fee that we can maintain the site. So just wanted to share that. we don't have any questions on that. We're going to move into our membership sign up. For the guests that are on the line, anybody that's out there on the live that's interested in becoming a member, interested in joining our movement, we are going to walk you through how to sign up. So I'm going to pass that over to Oliver. And Oliver, can you walk us through that, please?
Sure. Let me know if you can see my screen. Give me a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we have a few minutes left, and either Amanda or Ingrid get ready in a bit for the feedback form. But real quick, I'm just gonna go through. So our site, if you can, maybe Camille, drop our site, our www.ourchm.ca, and you'll come to this page, and obviously login is only for members. And you'll get all the details when you go log in, activity, membership. We have groups and stuff like that. And home, about us. Bill 134 is our Caribbean Heritage Month bill. You can see that there, petition, and that's still ongoing. Our identity, activity, and all of that stuff. All three organizations are here: Caribbean Women's Society, Caribbean Canadian Chamber of Commerce and Community, and Caribbean Canadian Parents United. Those three. I'm just going to go quickly at the events that we talked about and Camille mentioned. You just scroll down, and then you can see all the events that's coming up. That's the Love Space, and all the events all here that you can sign up. Pretty much self-explanatory. The resources, lots of resources. The shop is there looking good, Mark. This is brand new launch. I had to click on that. I don't know why I did, so I lost my page. Because the site really look good. Let me see if I can minimize that. Yeah, there we go. We're back here. There you go. So yeah, you can get the site there. And really important that I want to talk about, apply. Right? If you want to get into any one of the three organizations, you push apply, click apply, and then it pretty much gives you all the breakdown. Just pass all that stuff, and then you can see all the breakdown here. Caribbean Canadian Parents United general application, still $30 per year. Select, and Caribbean Women's Society Gold members 60 plus is free. Caribbean Women's Society General 40. Caribbean Canadian Chamber of Commerce and Community Gold members, again 60 plus is free. And the Caribbean Canadian Chamber of Commerce post-secondary feeder program that we talked about, also free for 1 year. And Caribbean Canadian Chamber of Commerce, resident, students, young professional, $50 a year. Caribbean Canadian Chamber of Commerce, community, entrepreneur, and like you have no employees, then it's only $100. And if you have employees 10 or less, then it's 300. 10 or more, then that's the price there. So simply straightforward. Just let us know or go on the site, ourchm.ca, and you can get all the application there as you see fit. That is it, actually. I just want to make sure we are 9:27. I just want to make sure we covered all the most important things. And that's it from me, Mark.
Well, thank you, Oliver. Yeah, thank you very much. What we're going to do now is move into just, we're kind of closing up the call here, but we do have a member, not a members, but a members and guests feedback form. So if you can, it should be in the chat. Can you please click on that link? We'll give you a couple of minutes or just to go in and provide us with some feedback. We're looking for honest feedback. If the guests are out there and there's something that interests you or didn't interest you, or we're very interested in understanding your thoughts and feelings toward the meeting tonight. So if you could just take a minute and fill that out, that would be great. And just let us know once that's completed.
Yeah, if you can put done in the chat, it would be great so we know.
You're on mute.
I said, thank you, DJ. I said, people don't know we have an in-house DJ as well. So I appreciate that. Thanks.
That's what you should have started with at 7:30.
Yes, it's 9:30. So we are wrapping up this meeting. Totally appreciate everybody's feedback. To the social meetups team, if you see a comment that the host of tonight's meeting was great, it may not have been me. I don't think I put that in, but there were some comments. You may see some nice comments about the host. But thank you guys. Thank you so much. Basically, what we want to share is, I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but the last message of the night is that we may not have all the answers, but between us, we will have the answers. So that's another quote from Camille. We work together, we can get the answers to what we need, and we can build that thriving Caribbean Canadian community, right? That's the goal we're looking to get to. That's the social movement. So that's what we're aiming toward. So thank you all for your time tonight. I will end it at that. One thing that I just wanted to share is we do have, for some people who haven't been on the call before, we go into after hours at 9:30. So it's 9:31 now. We're officially in after hours. But thank you all for joining the call. If you have to leave, and those members and guests who want to stay on for a little bit of additional conversation, please stay on. Thank you very much.
Yes, Marquis, we're here, accomplished and united. Love it.
That's it. So thank you.
Great job. First of all, great job, Mark. Great job.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. And